submission in that particular match. I want to take a moment very quickly to remind you, of course, that wrestling on Sunday will be in Cincinnati at the Riverfront Coliseum, a world title match. Monday in Parkersburg, Tuesday in Bluefield, and, of course, you'll be at the Omni on the 29th.
I'm going to be at the Omni. I'm going to be involved in this tournament. You know, Gordon, I used to hold that belt. There's a lot of tough competitors there. That's what makes this exciting, because when you win the belt this time, there's no excuses. Everybody that's underneath you, everybody that's going to be underneath me is going to look up and say, you know, he really should have that belt because he beat the best in professional wrestling.
I want to take a moment, if I may, to talk to the superstar, because he has been challenged by a man that he met last week in a handicap match. Burrhead Jones. Tony G, his other opponent, was injured and is sidelined from wrestling right now. But I think...
You know, Gordon, let me interrupt you for a minute because I'm really upset. You can excuse inexperience, but there's no excuse for stupidity. Now, this man, Burrhead Jones, evidently has got something up his head. Air, fog, I don't know what it is. But Burrhead Jones is in for a treat. Evidently, he didn't listen to the man who was talking to him last week. I beat them both. And Burrhead, there's nobody going to help you now.
Well, all right. The superstar angered over the fact that Burrhead Jones has, I think, great courage and certainly wants to prove a point to himself, I am sure. So it will be the superstar going up against Burrhead Jones. And as I said, Tony G was injured last week in his match. He and Burrhead going up against... and I've asked Tony G to come out here and join me for just a moment because... well, obviously, by the looks of your head, you had some stitches.
Yes, Gordon. Last week, took 23 stitches before I closed that 4-inch gash in my head at the hands of the superstar.
Well, obviously, Tony, when you go into professional athletics or amateur athletics, you realize that injuries can and will happen.
That's right. It's one of the costs you have to pay while you're getting your experience and doing your best shot. An athlete has to be able to take that kind of punishment, and he has to be able to dish it out, too, Gordon.
Well, I would assume now, though, that you've had all you want of the superstar.
No, I come down here, Gordon, each week, and I wrestle the best in professional wrestling here. I'm getting better and better each week. Right now, I'm a little out of action. When I get better and recover from this, I'm going to be back, and I want another shot at the man. I want a shot at all the top talent down here in Georgia.
Okay, there you have it, the comments from Tony G, and I appreciate it. It is the superstar who now is moving against Burrhead Jones. And, wow, Jones almost over that top rope. 23 stitches in Tony G's head when superstar ran him into the steel ring post last week. You have to admire men like that, anybody who has the courage to get in that ring in the first place. And Burrhead Jones right now, I am sure, must be having second thoughts about this, but he wanted to prove a point to himself. And hope springs eternal within the human breast, but as you saw there, the superstar caught him very handily coming off the ropes, and took the measure on him. We'll take a look at this in slow motion once again. And there you saw him catching him with that lariat-type move that stunned Burrhead long enough for the count, put him down the count of 3, and it was all over, and the superstar again has proven his point. I'd like to remind you right now, there will be wrestling, of course, tomorrow night in Marietta, the Cobb County.
You know, the thing that upsets me is you get individuals like this big Cantor and Dad come here spot. Now, first of all, I beat Burrhead Jones. I also beat the Junkyard Dog. I beat Leroy Brown. I beat Big Red. I beat a lot of his people. And he comes out here and he tells me that he's the king of professional. Here he comes, Mr.
You don't need this noise. Just bring it to the ring and let's sell it right now.
You know, this guy's so used to getting beat up. He wants to run right in the ring right now. He just goes and follows whatever I tell him. Listen, lad.
Well, we've got a situation here. Ernie the Cat Ladd taking off that shirt, and Ernie Ladd saying, let's get it on. Move in the ring right now. And the superstar thinking twice.
One thing I won't have to put up with is individuals like him coming in here and make slanderous remarks and telling me that he's the king of professional wrestling.